Hi, welcome to Blackwater Aggregates here in the heart of Essex. We're here today to see the new pump set from DXB Pump and Power that Blackwater Aggregates have invested in to reduce their carbon footprint, reduce their costs of fuel and reduce their emissions as part of their commitment to lowering their own overall carbon footprint and operating one of the largest sand and gravel plants in the southern United Kingdom. Let me take you in to see the new pump set that they've invested in, supported and supplied by DXB Integrate, our sales and rental division, and introduce you to the features and the benefits of buying a DXB pump. The first thing that you'll see is the very quiet design that we've come up with, which takes a stage 5 engine operating here at 1700 RPM, mounted directly to our pump inside our fully bunded sound attenuated canopy. Wide access doors here is going to give me easy access to be able to point out the features and benefits of our pump set, but also ensure that the maintenance of this pump set is undertaken in a very easy manner, which will encourage the owners, Blackwater Aggregates, to really maintain this pump to the highest level. So I'm going to open up the door and shut the pump set down using our DXB control panel. I press the stop button on my engine here, and the pump will go into a 10-second shutdown process where it checks the health of the engine and finally shuts itself down. I switch off my ignition key, open up my access door, securing it back here in the behind my access area, and open up the other access door to give me access to the front end of the pump, where you can hear the AdBlue pump and the AdBlue system continuing to work even after the engine has been shut down. That enables the AdBlue system to drain itself from all of its hoses going back out to the SCR in our hot box and bring all the AdBlue liquid back to the AdBlue tank here at the front end of our pump. So looking in here on this super wide access door, which gives us real access to our components all over the pump set here to maintain them in an easy manner, we have our Cornell designed 90-degree non-return valve that sits directly on top of the discharge of the pump, which is accessible here as well by an inspection hatch if we wanted to get in there. Coming from the front end of the pump, we have our heavy-duty bearing housing with a dual drive end bearing here and a heavy-duty oversized shaft of 2.5 inches diameter at the mechanical seal to ensure we've got long reliability and a B10 bearing life of well over 100,000 hours. Mounted on top of here is our 50 CFM diaphragm vacuum pump with a frost protection drain valve here to remove any form of moisture that might be contained in there in the winter, so there's frost protection and access to easily fill the oil level in our crankcase of our vacuum pump whilst looking at the vacuum pump sight gauge there. Further down in its access is our fuel fill-up area, and then we have our fuel sight gauge with a pickup here that runs to our control panel that enables us to read our fuel level in our internal fuel tank and then transmit that data through telemetry to the desk of the quarry manager. Any of this data in terms of the AdBlue tank and fuel tank through our control panel can be transmitted using telemetry to a desktop computer or an iPhone or an iPad, ensuring that the quarry manager or the supervisor has full access to the condition of the pump while it's operating. Moving to the engine end of our canopy on this side, you see easy access to the fuel filters and the fuel pump, which gives us the ability to maintain those components very, very easily. And over here, just behind the door, is the changeover valve that enables us to move to our external fuel pickup systems if we need to. We also have full access to the control panel here, which not only monitors the condition of the engine, but also the pump, using probes to give us our suction, vacuum levels, and also our discharge pressure. We also have the ability to plug in our floats here to have auto start-stop functionality on this pump set, and also we have our work lights that are plumbed into the control panel to give us the ability to provide light in and around the pump set at night when they're undertaking pumping operations or even servicing the pump at night. And these lights are available as an optional extra on a standard pump set. So closing up these doors here a little bit, I want to wander around the back side of this pump and introduce you to something that's very unique to the DXB design, which is our hot box, where at the discharge of all the hot air that is generated in this pump set via the radiator and the exhaust after treatment is contained in its own chamber here that we've called a hot box. And we have the exhaust after treatment behind this panel, underneath the radiator, which includes both the SCR AdBlue and the DPF, both of which can reach very high temperatures. And in fact, it's not uncommon during a regen process for temperatures in excess of 500 degrees Celsius to be achieved by this technology. And that's so high, we felt it was really important to remove that from the main body of the pump. And as I open these doors here on the other side of the canopy, you'll be able to see just what else that achieves for you as the owner of a DXB pump. Because we all know that maintaining accessibility to the pump set in order for it to be serviced is absolutely critical. And today, we, the OEMs, the pump manufacturers in the UK, have access to engines where the exhaust after treatment can be mounted on top of the engine or can be loose supplied. And we felt that the slightly more expensive strategy of having the exhaust after treatment supplied loose, which enables us to mount it in the hot box of our pump set well away from this area inside the pump, is not only going to give you more access to the pump to maintain it to the level that it needs to be maintained and should be maintained, but it minimizes the amount of ambient temperature buildup inside this canopy that could lead to premature shutdown because of overheating of the engine. We believe that is an absolute fantastic feature of the DXB pump sets, taking all of that exhaust technology, mounting it on the outside of the bulkhead of our pump, well away from all the cool air that is coming into this pump and going through the air filter for combustion or through the guard and out through the cooling pack, and minimizing any chance of these pump sets shutting down because of overheating. In fact, we're so confident that after tests undertaken by the engine manufacturers Deutz, some of our pumps are reaching ambient temperature capabilities in excess of 40 degrees Celsius. And certainly this 105 kilowatt Deutz powered unit has an ambient temperature capability well in excess of 40 degrees Celsius, more than enough for operation here in this quarry in East Anglia. Moving forward to the front end of the pump again, we see all of this ease of access is critical to maintaining the health of the pump set. I can get in here and if I need to, remove my vacuum pump through this door without having to battle. I get access to checking my oil levels in my crankcase, my oil levels in my bearing housing, and I can easily top up the level of the oil in the bearing housing right here. And also here, my mechanical seal oil reservoir, which directly connects to my mechanical seal, all instantly accessible and easy to fill. I get access to my oversized priming chamber that is designed to minimize the chances of liquid carryover from our suction spool through our priming valve to our vac pump. By having a good volume of air inside this priming chamber, we're ensuring that we're minimizing the chances of liquid carryover to the vacuum pump. Mounted on top of this priming chamber is an optional extra probe which gives the quarry the ability to see what their static suction lifts and inlet pressures are into the suction of the pump. So overall, you can see by designing these canopies with 4 wide accessible doors here gives us really good access to both the pump and the engine in our canopy. I'm going to close these doors up now, and we'll fire up the pump set and be able to once again listen to how quiet this pump set is, ensuring that the environmental impact of the pump set in a quarry today in the United Kingdom not only is minimized in terms of emissions from the engine, but also in terms of noise, in terms of vibration, all of those things that are partly measured to assess the environmental impact of using diesel powered equipment on the quarry. I'll fire it up now and you'll hear exactly how quiet our impact is. Our startup process with an audible alarm that triggers whenever we have a potential challenge with the pump set, going through a 10-second dial-up and a check of the systems, and I press my green button here. And fire this pump set up to begin the process of resupplying 450 cubic meters an hour of water to the wash plant in the distance there, at a pressure of around 4.5 bar. So I'd like to thank you for joining me here. I hope you found this of interest. I hope you found it informative and comforting to understand that stage 5 emission compliant pump sets are not really any more complicated than the older pump sets that we're all used to offering and using in our quarries. But it certainly is a major step forward in reducing the environmental impact of the pumps on the quarries anywhere in the United Kingdom today. Thanks very much for joining us.